You just hit level 60, congratulations. But now what? There is a lot of content out there, so figuring out where to go first and what to do can be a pretty daunting task. With the addition of all of the new seasonal content, there really is a lot to do. So whether you're a new player, welcome. If you're not, and you're a returning player, there is definitely going to be something in here for you. I'm going to break down how I went from Torment 1 to Torment 4 and started killing Torment bosses with a nice, smooth, fun transition into the endgame. Before we even hop in, all of my content is going to be moving over onto Cliptis.com. This is the website right here. What you can do while you're here, and something is super important for every season, and I talk about this all the time, is make sure you join the Legion. This is the Discord server right here. You can click on this to get in. The community that we have is top notch, and I am not being biased. They're very helpful to new and experienced players. There is going to be something for you. We run events constantly. We did a whole bunch of events already this season, and we have some boss farming events coming up. The game takes on a completely different feel when you hop in and you start playing with someone else. I promise you, I know that most of you out there are playing solo. There have been so many people that have joined the Discord and then they have not regretted it. The worst thing's going to happen, you join up, you don't like it, and you leave. No hard feelings, no questions asked. We would love to have you there. Let's hop into the rest of the video so you can get yourself to Torment 4. I have a Sheets document here for everybody. This will be in the description of this video. This is going to be a complete breakdown that everybody will have access to, so make sure you take advantage of it and utilize it. You can also go over to Cliptis.com. I'm going to be slowly moving everything from the Sheets over to my website, so you can use both. This will be in the description until I get the page upgraded for the website. What you're going to do as soon as you hit level 60 is you're going to pick your endgame build. Now, that does not necessarily mean you go out and you find a build and you copy it exactly. If you like to create your own builds, that's perfectly fine, but pick something that you're going to build around. Not every skill in the game can make it to Torment 4 or be very efficient at killing bosses or getting you to the direction that you want to go. So the first thing you're going to do is go out there and see what people are playing. I have my endgame guide linked right here. It's going to be the Whirlwind Summoner build. It is a lot of fun and it's kind of unique. It does run on Quakes, which has been used in previous seasons, but that's really going to be what you want to do is pick your build. I'm going to have all of my builds linked on my Mobalytics page. All of my build guides get posted to my website and also to YouTube. They're all over the place if you guys want to check them out. They're very, very comprehensive. I put a lot of time into them. But enough about me. Let's get into the reason that you're here. The very first thing that you're going to do is once you hit level 60, unlock all of your content. At level 60, that's when the pit unlocks. That's also when you're going to be able to start doing things like the Infernal Hordes. You want to make sure that you have completed the Deeds of a Champion quest line. Finish your campaign if you're still working through that also. The Deeds of a Champion quest line will unlock the tributes for you, and those tributes will allow you to do the Undercity. It will be a complete walkthrough of how to do everything, but if you don't complete that quest, you will not have access to one of the best farms in the game. So making sure you complete the Deeds of a Champion quest line is incredibly important. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to start pushing the pits. Now, before you even think about going into the pits and you just hit level 60, all of the gear that you're going to have from leveling, you're going to get rid of. You can go into Penitent, and you can still kill monsters there, and every single piece of gear that will drop will be 750. So go out there, get a full set of 750 gear so that you have set yourself up for the best possible way to move into the pits. When you're going to be in-game, now we're going to have a whole breakdown of everything inside of the planners, so make sure if you're looking at planners, you follow along with that, but we're going to talk about it right now. Something that you want to be looking at is going to be your armor and your resistances. Now, if you see, I'm on normal. As we move up in the difficulty tiers, we start to slowly lose more and more armor and then more and more resistances, all the way up to 1,000 and 100 resistance. Now, that's a lot. So when we switch here, you need to remember that when you get into the pits, you hit that first Torment tier. Even if I was on normal and I did a pit 55, which is Torment 4, I will still lose all of those armor and all of that resistances if I start it from normal or if I start it from Torment 3. It doesn't matter where you start it from, you still take those penalties. Now that we've moved it back, my armor goes down to 1,400, which is actually over, which is great. We're exactly where we need to be. 1,000 is going to be your cap. It actually tells you right here. That cap means that anything over that 400 that I have over, I'm not actually getting any benefit from having that. Same thing with resistances. Resistances cap is 70. That's your soft cap. Now, there are other ways through your Paragon board or through Incense where you can go over that cap. It just adds a little bit more elemental reduction. As you can see, my lightning resistance is 74. That's coming from my Paragon board. I take 74% less lightning damage. So making sure that you have things that are going to increase your armor and increase your resistances are going to be super important. Even if it's something like taking a piece of gear that may be 750, but it's a unique that has resistances to all, is going to be very, very helpful. So the first thing you do is make sure that you work on your resistances and your armor. Then you're going to push to pit level 10. Pit 10 unlocks Torment 1. The reason that you want to unlock Torment 1 is because that's where you start getting your ancestral gear. You will not get any before that. The Ovals vendor this season is incredibly good. If you hit Torment 1, that will allow you to start getting your ancestral gear from the Ovals vendor. So you've cleared pit 10. We've been talking a lot about Endgame. What is Endgame in Season 8? It's going to be pushing the pits. It's going to be doing the Dark Citadel. It's going to be doing the Undercity Karas, and those you need the expansion pack for. You'll be doing Nightmare Dungeons, and the whole entire theme of this season is going to be doing bosses. There was a complete rework to the lair bosses themselves. They have changed, there's new mechanics, and there's a whole progression tier going up the list. Now, are you ready to move higher into your Torment tiers? Are you ready to do bosses? There's a couple of different ways that you can check. The pits are static. No matter where you start them from, like we talked about before, you'll be able to see if your character is ready to move up. If you can clear that pit that is designated as the pit level to move up into a Torment tier. So if you come over here to the Artificer, and you come down and you look, it tells you exactly where your Torment tiers are going to be. If you can clear that Torment tier, you are ready for that Torment. You can go up by 1, you can go up by 3, you can go up by 5. Whatever the game will allow you to go up by, there's no harm in trying those because you can always go back down and then work on your gear. So push your character, see how far you can get, but you want to at least get to Torment 4. Torment 4 does not drop any better gear than it does in Torment 1. It just drops more gear. You have more materials that drop, more gear that drops, so your chances of getting a piece of gear that's going to be good is going to be higher in Torment 4. Something that is brand new to Season 8, which is actually really, really cool. They have added in the ability to teleport to bosses. You find them on their map, and then you click on the dungeon, and then you can teleport right there. This is a big, big upgrade from having to teleport to the town nearest to you, and then run in there, and then run all the way to all of the bosses. So that is a really, really great change that was added in. On top of that, now, bosses have gotten a lot more difficult. They added difficulty scaling, they added mechanics. How do you know if you're ready to do them? You can actually summon all of the bosses this season without any material. You just summon and click, and then you wait for the boss to spawn. In order for you to get the loot from the boss, you now have to make sure that you have materials, and that's where it all comes into play. So when the boss dies, you'll now have a material chest that's going to spawn. That will give you the ability to get the loot from the boss. So now you can test out and see, am I strong enough? Am I not strong enough? Without having to worry about spending any of the mats and then wasting them or waiting for your friends to get done with whatever they're doing. It is a really great change to how this season is going to work. What we're going to cover next is going to be the priority list for level 60. The first thing that you're going to do is going to be glyphs. You want to make sure that once you hit 60, you start running Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons are hands down the best way to get your glyphs. Sometimes you'll get 2 to 3 of them per run. You can also get them from doing any of the open world events. Go to Helltides. You can get them from doing whisper caches. They have increased the amount of areas that they drop and the amount of times that the glyphs will drop. So it's really, really easy now to get all of the glyphs that you're going to need. Go out there, play the game, do the content, but do expect, but like all of the stuff in this game, expect to not get everything right away. Some of it you're going to have to grind. You might not find the aspect that you need right away. You might not find the runes that you need right away. So don't go out and expect to find everything that you're going to need right away. It will definitely make it a lot easier of an experience if you're expecting to have a little bit of a grind and a little bit of a hunt. The hunt is what I love about games like this. Then after that, you're going to start running the pits. Now, depending on where your character is in terms of their gear, you might have to bounce around a little bit. You might have to go do some Nightmare Dungeons. You might have to go do some Infernal Hordes. You might have to go do some Helltides, and then you're going to keep on running the pits higher and higher. Blizzard made a great change to the way that glyphs are leveled up this season. Your pit level can now be 50 levels higher than your glyph, and you still have a very small chance to upgrade your glyphs. So you do not have to get to pit 100 in order to upgrade your glyphs all the way. It's a very good change. So get in there and start upgrading your glyphs. The minimum you want to go to is your first radius increase. Once you hit your first radius increase on all of your glyphs, make sure that they're active. Make sure you follow along with a planner that isn't going to tell you to put all 300 points in, because you want to be able to unlock all of your glyphs and all of your legendary nodes before you fill out the rest of the board. Then you're going to go straight to level 46 on your glyphs. That is a huge increase to your damage. So your priority list is going to be your glyphs. That will be your most immediate set of power boosts. Then we're going to continue the seasonal quest. Then you're going to start unlocking your boss powers. You can go around on Torment 1 and kill all the bosses and get all of their powers. You're going to find the ones you want to use, start leveling those up, and now your endgame build is slowly starting to come together. As you're going through and you're opening up your whisper caches, and as you're doing your pits and you're doing Helltides, you're going to start getting Infernal Horde keys. Those are incredibly beneficial. The Infernal Hordes is amazing. It gives you guaranteed ancestral legendary pieces of gear. It also gives you a lot of Undercity and a lot of gem fragments. Don't ever open the gold caches. I know that is very tempting when you're running low, but the Undercity is way too valuable alongside of the guaranteed ancestral gear. You can also get scrolls of retempering from the Infernal Hordes as long as you open up the equipment chest. Now, what are the scrolls of retempering and why are you going to need them? If you have done a little bit of tempering and you have bricked something, you know that feeling. It's not fun. These are your scrolls of restoration. They drop right from the Infernal Horde chests. It allows you to have one more chance to reset all of your tempers so you can unbrick that piece of gear and hopefully get the temper that you're looking for. So running the Infernal Hordes and then opening up those material chests will set you up later so that if you do happen to get a really great piece of gear and your tempers don't go well, you have another chance at it. Now, a question that I get from a lot of people is where is the best place to go target farm runes? Well, I have a secret for you. The answer is nowhere. There is no way to target farm runes, which I understand can be a little frustrating to a lot of people. The best way to probably get your best rune farm out was to go do bosses. Now, the boss ladder has changed a lot. Just doing content is going to be incredibly important. If you have the expansion pack, we did end up doing a bunch of tribute runs. And what the tributes are is if you come over here, you get a ton of the Harmony tributes. They give you a chance at getting runes. I saw some legendary runes drop for some people as we were doing runs. I have 36 of them. You just go into the Undercity, you do some runs. Now, when you're doing the Undercity, I have a couple videos out if you want to go back and find them. The fastest way to do the Undercity, because you can do some of the runs in about 2 to 2.5 minutes. And it gives you a bunch of runes, and you have a chance of getting your legendary runes that you're going to need to either craft your mythics or to bring your build together. So now you've been doing all of this content. You're watching your Paragon levels go up. You start filling out your boards. We're going to talk about how to fill out the Paragon boards if you haven't looked at a build guide before. We're going to come over here to Mobalytics. This is going to be a planner. If you've never been here before, you can go right to mobalytics.gg. I am the official Barbarian writer for Mobalytics this season. So all of the tier lists I'm going to be putting together for the Barbarian, so you can come here and check out my builds. As the season goes on, we're going to add more to this list and make sure that it is the most up-to-date and current Barbarian list for you out there. So if you want to do this, and I highly suggest using a planner to build your character offline, so this way you don't have to spend materials and you don't have to spend a ton of time in-game clicking and re-clicking. You can simply go to the planner that's going to be over here. Then you can go to the Paragon board. What's cool about this is that this will allow you to move around. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. You have unlimited options here. You can even put separate boards in that will not have anything attached. You can put your glyphs in, so you can kind of guess and you can kind of figure out what you're going to be doing. When you're putting a board together like this, the one thing that you want to avoid, and there are a lot of people out there, so if you're someone that has done this before, there is nothing wrong with it. A lot of people have gone through and started doing this in their Paragon board. This is not the optimal way to put together a Paragon board. You want to actually spend as little points as you possibly can in order to get to your glyphs, and then you're going to spend as little points as you can to unlock your next glyph, and then your legendary nodes. Because the legendary nodes and the glyphs are going to be the biggest boost of damage that you can get. So don't just fill out the entire boards. And if you see someone that has a board in their planner that may be 326 points, don't go and fill out your board exactly like that. Go to each node that is going to give you the legendary nodes, and each one is going to give you the glyphs first, and then you branch out into your defensive, your max life, your resistances, and your armor. After you've done all of that, then you're going to start getting all of the offensive nodes. Now, if you look in-game here, what I've started doing with my Paragon board is now I'm working towards my resistances. I only am Paragon a little over 200 now. So I've filled out everything, just the defensive nodes, all of the legendary nodes here, and then all of my glyphs. I haven't really gone anything extra, anything offensive, just the defensive stuff so that I can stay alive. And then when I'm alive, I can do damage and I can get more Paragon points to start going offensive. The next thing we're going to talk about is going to be Masterworking. Now, when this video comes out, at the very bottom of this, there will be a guide There will be a link to a guide on how to masterwork the most efficiently and what to do. But when you're going to start your masterworking process, it's going to be expensive. You can actually reset masterworking. This is something that a lot of people don't know. When you come over to the blacksmith and you've already masterworked something, you just go to the masterworking screen, you put your equipment in, and you can reset. This resets everything, but it also costs 5 million gold, and it gives you no resources back. So before you start resetting your masterworking, and what the point of resetting your masterworking is to make sure that you get that 25% increase on specific ones. Now, if you want a more in-depth guide on it, make sure that you just click this link right here on the screen. This is going to give you a very in-depth guide on the whole process. But today, what we're going to talk about is only making sure that you go straight to 12. Masterwork your gear, don't wait on it. It is a huge increase in your character's survivability, your character's damage. I even have a piece of 750 gear that I masterwork to level 8. So why do this? It seems like a waste of materials. When I replace this chest piece, all I'm going to do is salvage it. When I salvage it, I get back 100% of all of the materials that I put into it. So this way, it has no repercussions. I have lost no materials, and I was running around with a piece of upgraded gear. So don't wait, get in there, masterwork your gear. Now we're going to talk about the most exciting part of the journey is getting your mythic uniques, and that should be at the very bottom of your priority list. Those are not the most important things to do. Yes, they can be amazing and it is super fun to find them, but they really do add a very little compared to your masterworking, leveling up your glyphs, making sure that your character comes online. If the first thing that you do is try and go and do bosses and you get a mythic unique, that is really not going to make it so that you can survive and that you can progress through the game. It's one piece of gear, so you want to make sure that those are at the very bottom of your priority list. Next, we're going to talk about the Season 8 specific content, and we're going to be talking about the incursion zone. Now, what the incursion zones are, so when you come to your map here, now if you have already done your seasonal quest line, you will already have done a couple of these, but if you're just hopping into the season, this is what they're going to look like. You're going to find your apparition incursion, you're going to go there, and it's going to be a boss rush. As you kill those bosses, you're going to steal their powers. There is actually a whole bunch of them that you're going to be able to get from the incursion zones, so you're going to have to complete them over and over again in order to unlock all of them. You also gain Spectral Ash. The Spectral Ash is going to be used to upgrade your boss powers. You come right to the boss power menu, you can hover over whichever skill you want, whether you're on a controller or whether you're on a mouse and keyboard, and the button that it says right here on the bottom, that is going to be the button you click to upgrade your boss powers. Now, it is definitely important to do because you do gain increasing benefits from these boss powers, and they do play a pretty big role in how your character works. Now, what to farm where? I have a couple of the very specific ones here that everybody is looking for. Now, Blizzard did make this really, really awesome change to the UI a couple seasons ago, where all of the content that you're going to be doing, if you're going to be looking for anything in particular, if you hover over all of these, it tells you exactly where they come from. So this one right here, if you're looking for Artificer Stones to go run the pits, you're going to get those from Helltides, from the Tree of Whispers, from Legion events, Nightmare Dungeons, and the Undercity Cuirass. They drop from all over the place. So that was why I have 635 of them. All I've been doing is just playing the game, and then I get them. Most of the materials you're just going to get from playing the game, but if you want to know specifically where they come from, like Opticite, it tells you exactly right here where it is. At the very bottom of this, I have all of the activities that are going to be in Endgame. We have your Nightmare Dungeons for your glyphs, your Opticite, your Angel's Breath, and your Obols. We have the pits for your glyph experience, your player experience, and your gear. The Infernal Hordes are going to be for Ancestral gear, Opticite, crafting materials, and then you can get gold, although I probably wouldn't open that one. Your bosses here. The tormented bosses are going to give you your target farming uniques. Now, each of the uniques are going to drop from specific bosses. If you're looking for specific ones, there is a very general unique pool that all of the bosses will drop, and then each one has their own specific pool. After that, we have our Helltides, which is going to be your loot target farming. That means that all of the chests inside of the Helltide will tell you exactly what type of loot you're going to get. Let's say that you're looking for your weapons. You can go into Helltides, you can farm some cinders, and you can go open the weapons chest. You're also going to get a lot of Forgotten Souls by opening up all the chests there. You get your Angel's Breath. You get Angel's Breath, and you're going to get boss materials. You're only going to get Living Steel here. They did make a change to the way that the boss powers are farmed in this season now. So if you go to your boss materials here, you can actually hover over all of them, and then it's going to tell you exactly where they come from. So each one is going to have its very specific one. So this one is the Blood Maiden, Undercity Cross, World Bosses, and Legion events. So that's how you're going to figure out what to do, where to go, and when. The last thing we're going to talk about is the Undercity Cross. This one right here, you're going to use your tributes, like we showed in the very beginning of the video. This is going to give you boss mats, opticites, runes, and gear. So that's really all of the content for the end game right now, but there is quite a lot of activities to do and branch out. At the bottom here, we talked about unique farming for bosses, so I have a link to Wowhead. This is going to be where all of the uniques can be target farmed, so make sure you click on that if you're looking for something very specific. That's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends. Let's get as much information out there for Diablo 4 as we possibly can. And let me know in the comments with what you do on your grind from Torment 1 to Torment 4. I'm live every night. I'd love it if you stopped by, said hi, theory crafted with me. Catch you on the clip side.